Goliath. Towering over most folk, Goliaths are distant descendants of giants. Each Goliath bears the blessing of the first giants, blessings that manifest in various supernatural boons, including the ability to quickly grow and temporarily approach the height of the Goliath's gigantic kin. Goliaths have physical characteristics reminiscent of the giants in their family lines. For example, some Goliaths look like stone giants, while others resemble fire giants. Whatever giants they count as kin, Goliaths have forged their own path in the multiverse, unencumbered by the internecine, I don't fucking know what that is, conflicts that have ravaged giantkind for ages and seek heights above those reached by their ancestors. So humanoid, medium still though. 35 feet. All right, so they have a little bit more movement speed and 80 years on average. Okay. As a Goliath adventurer, you have the following special traits. You get to choose your ancestry. Makes sense. Choose one of the following benefits. Supernatural boon from your ancestry. You can use the chosen benefit a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Woohoo! All right. You magically teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see as a bonus action. You get 2 free uses of Misty Step? Excuse me? Yeah, no, that's not a great fucking ability in any way, shape, or form. Oh god. When you hit a target with an attack roll, deal damage to it. You can also deal 1d10 fire damage to that target. So you can deal 2d10 additional points of fire damage. That's not too bad. When you hit a target with an attack roll, deal damage to it. You can deal 1d6 cold damage and reduce its speed by 10 feet. That's not too bad either. Although, it is an attack roll. So it's not a melee attack roll necessarily. You can technically... That's weird. So you can technically, like, shoot him with an arrow and be like, well, fuck you. So this is probably better on, like, melee builds, and this is in, like, probably better on, like, ranged builds to, like, force them to stay there. And you can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So technically, if you have 2 attacks at level 5, there's no limit on doing it like X amount of times per turn. So what you just do is you just like shoot once, shoot twice, and you just reduce their movement speed by 20. Or would this not work? Because technically it's the same effect twice. Right? The same way that, for example, if you're... if you have like 2 times, if you have Pass Without a Trace active twice, you don't get a plus 20 because you can only be under the effect once. So would this fall under that you can only reduce some things' speed by 10 feet? Or would this stack? I think that's a big question to ask for this. Because if it stacks, this is great. You can just like have 2 attacks. If both of them hit, you just reduce. You deal 2d6 more cold damage, and then you just reduce their speed down by like 20 feet. Which, like, especially for, like, you know, normal running guys, it's like, oh, my speed is now 10 feet, and they're just, like, stuck. They can get to you. It's like... So this seems pretty decent. Probably most people will still pick Fire's Burn over Frost Chill, but... When you take a large or smaller creature with an attack roll and deal damage to it, you can knock that target prone. This is really good. No save on it? Excuse me? For lower levels, this is ridiculous. Excuse me. I have a problem with my coughing today. God. At least I'm not turning into a wheezing yet. Sorry. This is really good. Fuck, that's really good. This is pretty good. Especially in like lower level campaigns, this is really good. You just like hit them with an attack and then they're prone. Well, although that depends on your party actually, now that I think about it. Because if you're prone, you still, ranged attacks still are at disadvantage, right? Once you get 2 attacks, you just hit them once and your second attack's at advantage. It's less good than I'm thinking. Now that I think about it, it's less good than I thought, but it's still pretty good. Stone's Endurance. When you take damage, you use your reaction to roll a d12, add your constitution modifier to the number rolled, and reduce the damage. Yeah, so you pretty much, this is if you're like playing more of a tank. This is just probably really good. This is really good on a barbarian, I would assume. The one question here is, how does this work with resistances? Do you do this before or after the resistance? I would assume after. God, which this can like on a bear totem barbarian, this can really stack up, especially because you can like use it like how many times? Like at that point you're third, like even two times a d12 is like 13 with resist, like with a bear totem that's like 26 hit points. In so many cases, like you're just literally healing for 26 hit points on average. That's insane. This is really good. Add your and add your constant. No, I'm not. I'm lying, because you get to add, like, let's even say at third level you have like 16 con. That's like +6. Like you get to reduce by 3 2 more times, and then because you're taking half damage as a bear totem barbarian, that's like +12. So you're healing like 38 hit points with this. This is awesome. When you take damage from a creature within 60 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal 1d8. Oh yeah, pretty much you get to that's pretty cool. Honestly, I think this is like the least powerful one of the bunch. Storm's Thunder. Honestly, I legitimately think this is like why would you pick this over this? Oh, if you're playing a mage. But if you're playing a mage, you don't want to take damage because you don't have hit points. Like, you know, I don't know. I think this is like the least impressive one. I'm pretty sure there's very few cases where you'd, like, I think as a mage, you'd probably prefer Cloud's Jaunt, right? Because you'd be able to like teleport out of difficult situations. Yeah. I think Storm's Thunder's probably the weakest in this bunch. Because I think on like damaging builds, you're picking either one of these two. This one to make sure that the opponent, because this also uses a reaction. Neither of these use a reaction. This deals more damage. Like, yeah, the only thing you can do, you are able to give it, is this is fire damage, which gets resisted by a lot of shit, whereas thunder damage doesn't get resisted by a lot. But you know, I don't know. I think Storm's Thunder is probably like the weakest from these, at first glance at least. Maybe there's builds for it, I don't know. Large form, starting at 5th level, you gain the ability to supernaturally grow. As a bonus action, you change your size to large, provided you're in a big enough space. This transformation lasts for 10 minutes or until you end. There's a bonus. During that duration, you have advantage on strength checks, and your speed increases by 10 feet. I don't think that's bad. It's definitely not bad. I mean, it's hard to grapple, and I think grapple is a lot more powerful in 1D&D, from what I remember. You have advantage on strength checks, which that's like kind of like rage. It can be. I think this is very situational. I think you're probably gonna pick it more. And then power, yeah. And if you add like powerful, you have advantage on any saving throw you make to end the grappled condition on yourself. To end the grapple, ooh, not to not be grappled. Okay. Also count as one size larger when determining your, like, if you pick giant from a more mechanic perspective, I think you're picking it more for this, right? You're picking it more for one of these. This is situationally pretty good. Like, you get to change your size to large, which is good against things like grapple and shit. Also makes you harder to do other stuff to it. Also, creatures that have abilities against large creatures are going to be fucked, you know, or against medium or smaller creatures are going to be fucked and stuff. Advantage on strength checks can just be good to, like, you know, climb up or jump or whatever. And your speed increases by 10 feet, which is just good to chase down certain creatures. So this is definitely a decent ability. You're just not picking giant for this. And then this saving throw to end the grappled condition is pretty decent. And then you count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and weight you can push, drag, or lift. Problem here is you need to have a DM that actually gives a shit about carrying capacity, which is a big issue. I hate carrying capacity. I still kind of want a better way to deal with carrying capacity. Anyway, I think that's the species.